We're going to take that breathing and bracing, and we're talking a little bit about hip hinging and working into the brace. So hip hinging is really important because it's the first thing we do when we go into a squat. We're going to go into a little bit of a hip hinge before we go down into our squat and come right back up, right? So we don't want to go into a squat by just going into an anterior tilt, which means we're going to stick our bum out, put pressure on our low back, and then go down. A lot of times when we start our squat in that way, there is some kind of range of motion issue with our hips or knees or our ankles, okay? So when we're going down into that hip hinge, you can hold onto a weight, a kettlebell, child, doesn't matter. We just want something heavy right in front of you. You're gonna exhale, find your brace. So that means you're tightening your core. Your ribs are stacked over those hips, making sure that we're not rib gripping so we don't brace low to high, and then at the very end, really squeeze our ribs down, because all that's going to do is release the lower abs and put pressure down into our pelvic floor, out through our abs, or into our back, which is defeating our purpose of our brace. So we find that squeeze, lift our squeeze, soften the knees, just go into a hip hinge. So you're staying in a straight line from your head to your bum and then coming right back up. If you've got a wall right behind you, you could take, a step and a half away from it, soften the knees, hip hinge back until your bum hits the wall, squeeze your glutes and come forward. Hip hinge over, squeeze and come forward, right? So then if we start with that hip hinge, then we can progress it and go down into a deadlift where you just bend the knees, so abs draw in, you come back. Our glutes and hamstrings are long, we're not tucked under, not sticking our bum out. Again, nice neutral spine, really strong brace, and then bending the knees to go down into that deadlift and pick it back up. If you're thinking of a squat, we'll use our front squat since we've got this weight. It'll come right in front of the chest, same thing, soft knees, starting with a hip hinge, trying to go down, staying as upright as possible, and coming right back up. Now in your squat, if you start to go over and you're folding a lot in the hips, you may want to lift your heels up just a bit so you can put a little slant board underneath the heels, because a lot of times our ankles are really, really tight. So if your calf and ankle mobility is limited, then you definitely want to lift those heels so that you can stay upright more and keep those abdominals really engaged. The other thing to think about when we're bracing and lifting is if in a squat in particular, if your big toes lift up off the ground, you don't bury those guys into the ground, you're going to disconnect from the core. So you can really think about all of these exercises from a form perspective first, and can I expand with that inhale? When I exhale, can I engage low to high? And can I keep that lift of my core when I'm moving? So as you're adding load, adding weight, making things harder, faster, adding a threshold, so you're squatting for long periods of time, you're staying in connection with those core muscles. So hopefully that helps, and we'll see you next time. Bye.